the bigger question
there really
right
is
now
no
is,
anti-armor.
what the hell is the Falcon doing, shooting the heavy bolter squad instead of trying to run down these Razorbacks?
The Razorback does pose the more long-term threat here.
And he's got virtually no chance of eliminating that squad completely, so...
The tough break for Aniketos here, bringing the Devastator Bolter all the way across the map and essentially walking away with no effective generator harassment.
Yeah.
He only managed to destroy the power node, so essentially costed Bioterra a mere 100 requisition.
Yeah. But it's worth it to note that all 3 VPs are now in Aniketos' favor, although probably not for long.
Not for long. Guardian's already scurrying out there.
Yeah. Well, look at this Falcon pushing off the entire SM army. That's why I love the thing.
One thing I'd like to note is that I don't see any war gear upgrades on the Force Commander as of yet.
We did get a psychic shield thing up, and it looks like one of the weapon upgrades for the Warlock as well, the Energy Drain Blade. So apparently Bioterra thinks Aniketos is going to go for a Bubble Boy.
That is the popular thing among Space Marine players, but there is a significant recoil among a lot of the top Space Marine players to try to avoid the Bubble Boy to prevent accusations of abusing an overpowered unit. And Aniketos goes and makes a liar out of me and upgrades the Power Fist on his Force Commander. So.
That's going to be a lot more useful now that the Eldar player, Bioterra, is knocking out vehicles. Although we actually do have a missile squad out now.
With the missile attack and the Power Fist, that is some significant anti-vehicle. One thing I do like to see always combined with the Power Fist is the teleporter pack instead of the shield, because you can get immediately close distances to vehicles and shut them down.
This is vintage Company of Heroes right here. Aniketos using his Razorback to block the retreat of the Falcon there for a little bit. And it still might die. It's taking damage from that Force Commander.
Yeah, that's a great move because he did lose it.
There he goes.
Blocking that Falcon to get the extra missile shot off. The missiles do a lot of damage, but their weakness is their rate of fire. So if you can keep the enemy in range of the missiles for as long as possible, that's where you're going to maximize their effectiveness.
And now we've got these dual Razorbacks just raping everything on the field for Bioterra again.
Once again, without a counter on the map, so...
This is why I sort of like the early Banshees. Because you're probably not going to kill a Razorback with them, but you can at least do something to it. You can cause some damage.
You can force it back, and at that point Aniketos would have to repair the Razorback, which not only ties up the Razorback, but the Scout Squad repairing it. So the VP's back in the favor of Bioterra, but once again...
Not for long. Yeah, they're already changing. And we've got out another Falcon. That's actually going to hurt, because... that power he could have used to upgrade to Tier 3 and gotten the Falcon Shield, which really would have helped him a lot more, because he still has to deal with this missile attack squad as well.
Yeah, until he gets that shield up, the missile attacks are a huge threat to that Falcon.
And it looks like he's going to try and send in the Warlock to do something, but that's getting the shit kicked out of it by both the Razorbacks and the Force Commander.
The Power Fist is, it's not that bad against infantry.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not as good as the AoE abilities of the Hammer, but especially when used in conjunction with Battlecry, has a great amount of knockback.
We have a Bright Lance cannon out here.
Obviously, Bioterra has recognized that his major weakness is coming from the Razorbacks and needs to do more to counter those effectively.
We just lost our first squad there of the game. The Warlock went down, and there goes one of the Razorbacks as well.
Bioterra doing a really great job with that Falcon. He managed to time its ins and outs with the missile attacks, and they actually got some wasted shots off on infantry.
Yeah. Well, the Warlock, he did kind of sacrifice that to tie up the missile attacks away from the front.
He's got his one remaining Razorback, Aniketos does, being repaired by a Scout Squad.
Well, it's going to be a lot less effective now that we've got a Bright Lance cannon out on the field. Oh, Bright Lance weapon.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Aniketos brings out now that effectively his vehicles have been countered. It looks like the answer to that is going to be a Devastator Plasma Cannon Squad.
Yeah.
You see a lot of those against Orc and Tyranid because they tend to glob up a lot of infantry. Let's see how effective it's going to be against the Eldar army.
I don't know. Personally, I've always loved it when I faced a SM player who went for deployable weapon teams when I was using the Warlock, because I would just spam Warp Throw.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Obviously, that would just hurl the emplacement and force it to reset up, and it's going to be in a tight spot at that point. Not a whole lot of VPs ticking down right now. Both players have been consistently decapping.
Yeah, our Warlock still hasn't been respawned here. It's sitting at 250 requisition. Bioterra went and got tier 3, as we can see from the Falcon shield now.
Aniketos is floating a lot of powder right now. He's pushing almost 200, which is
Jesus.
Obviously well above anything a Space Marine unit would cost. The number 1 unit weighing in at 125 with the Predator.
And I don't really... Well, Predator actually wouldn't be too bad to deal with this Falcon. They tend to take down the shield pretty quickly, I find. Usually about 2 shots or so.
Right now the plasma cannon is set up towards the central victory point, facing downward. Got a shot off on the Warlock, and looks like it's just barely in range of that Bright Lance cannon as well, but I doubt he has sight on it at the moment.
Yeah, I think Aniketos, unless he does something very wrong very soon, I think he's going to win this one. I mean, that's just so many units for a Space Marine player to have out on the field.
The thing about Space Marines is that they have a small amount of very durable units, so when you get the sort of the snowball effect going with their units, eventually they hit critical mass, and all their units typically have a lot of experience on them because they're so durable.
Yeah. Looks like we got dual sniper rifles out on those scouts as well, so we can forget using platforms effectively.
The Falcon tank is looping around the plasma cannon as we speak, however, but the missile attacks are nearby.
And looks like we're suiciding the Warlock into the middle of the Space Marine army. I think so.
Maybe a little bit too over-concerned with this Devastator plasma gun.
Yeah. Looks like the Warlock has booked it.
The Falcon alone probably would have been enough to force the plasma gun off the map.
If he's not careful, he's going to get hit with the Force Commander Power Fist too here and get disabled. And like that. That is not going to be good. And there goes the shield and Falcon number 2. And
meanwhile, the Razorback's still up and kicking, so now the